My hair is so dirty.
It was yesterday. I washed it yesterday. Oh, it was great.
I don't know when I washed my hair last. It has like so much dry shampoo in it.
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
Well, it wouldn't be me if I didn't have dry shampoo in my hair.
Good morning. Welcome to the Theswolesisters podcast.
Welcome.
We have some updates. We're going to start with that. Bree is about to start prep.
I'm about to start prep.
And her show is a secret. So no one knows about it. She's just going to jump on prep and peekaboo at the show, and that's it.
That's pretty much how it's going to be when I say it. So I'm going to be wearing those pump covers. And
yeah, that's amazing. I'm so excited for you. And as for me, well, I just got hired at Lifetime as a personal trainer, and that's a great start of the year. Everything happened so quickly. I did not expect that at all, but I envisioned it and I manifested it for a long time, I would say. I trained there like in 2021, and I went there and I was like, this is a very nice gym. One day I'm going to train people over here, you know? And when I said that, I actually believed it. And then here we are, and I applied, and they called me just 3 days after my application was sent. And I went to 3 interviews, and everything went well, and just can't wait to start February 11th. We'll see how it goes.
So exciting. Yeah. I feel like you were hired on before you even stepped into your first interview.
Yeah.
I think they knew, but
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
I went there with as much confidence as I could carry with me. I am a very confident person, but when it comes to proving yourself to people, I don't like that. I want people to see what I'm worth. I don't want to have to prove anyone anything. You know what I mean? But when I went to the interview, I really went as myself. Like I spoke to the hiring manager as if I was talking to my friend, basically. I was literally just myself. I did not try to emphasize anything. Told him the truth about my story from the very beginning and all the values that I could bring to the company. And that was it. There was never a doubt or anything that they would not hire me. It just went with the flow, and it went well.
But they were doing their research on you. They were looking you up on your Instagram. They knew all about you.
I think so, because he already knew some stuff about me first, you know.
So you piqued their interest. I also think sometimes, not sometimes, actually, every time your energy speaks before you walk into a door. And a lot of it's an energy thing.
And if you look at my Instagram, you can tell a little bit, especially the stories, like what kind of person that I am. I think that I'm pretty much myself on IG as if I am outside, so I don't try to portray someone that I'm not. So I wasn't worried at all that he went peeking or anyone went peeking on my IG, because what you see is what you get, you know.
Very authentic. I was telling that to Paul, I'm like, she's probably one of the most authentic people I've ever met.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah. Oh, I have chills.
But I knew that right away. I mean, you kind of go back to when we first met, and we met at the gym, but we saw each other. It was kind of like a respect thing, but not just hey, she works out, I work out. It was like an energy thing too.
Yeah, and we are pretty close in age too.
Yeah. And then we just connected. It was like, hey, you want to go meet up for dinner?
Yeah.
And we did. And it was just I feel like we just authentically talked, even on this podcast.
And Bree actually did my eyebrows back then.
That's right.
Yeah, she does permanent makeup. And so I booked with her, and she did my eyebrows. It was amazing. But you know what? The second time I went to see her was about,
I think, last year.
4 months, 5 months. No, the beginning of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, and it turned out so great, even better than the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I switched up my pigments. I just said the other day, I'm not gonna do permanent makeup anymore, and I was working on one of our friends, and then I'm starting to get booked as of last night for more permanent makeup. I'm like,
but it turned out great on Heather.
They turned out so pretty. really, really pretty. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And it hurts my hands. It hurts
Yeah.
my wrists. And this morning, like, it was 5 a.m. and Paul's saying goodbye. And I'm like, so I started BPC 157, and that's a peptide. And I'll get into why I started that. But it's for injuries and it's for healing. But I was like cracking a joke and I'm like half asleep. I'm like, do you think I could like inject it into my wrist? He's like, get
Mm-hmm.
out of here. Cause you can inject it directly into the injury
Mm-hmm.
as long as there's like,
Oh, you injected to the
you
injury.
can, you don't have to.
So,
But
like, if I have carpal tunnel, would that will help? Would that help?
well, I mean, I think it'll help. I'll let you know. I'll try it in my wrist and see how
Oh.
painful it is. But my dumbass fell again.
Oh my goodness, you're worse than I am.
Oh, it's like I have a whole scab on my knee. I twisted my ankle, and my daughter watched the whole thing. So like afterwards, like later in the day, so I'm like, so how was it trying to hold back, like laughing?
Oh
Because
my
like
goodness.
just seeing it in slow mo, the way like my ankle went, and then like I landed on my knee. My food, I prepped my food. I made the best like breakfast. My eggs were perfect.
And you dropped that too?
I dropped that. Everything was measured to the T. I
Oh.
dropped my coffee all over the garage floor. My bowl landed up on my daughter's hood of her car because her car was
Mm-hmm.
parked in the garage. I broke another dish. Like, and my first thought was, am I going to be able to compete? Because with your ankles, we're wearing heels. In my last injury, I couldn't even like point my toes. I couldn't stand on my tippy toes, and I couldn't flex.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it literally just healed a month ago. And then I trip over a shoe in the garage.
And you know what's even worse is when you are on prep and you're dropping body fat, things start to get painful sometimes. You know, like
I
speaking
know.
of feet, like I got so lean that I didn't have any fat pad under my sole,
Isn't that crazy?
and just standing for long periods of time just hurt me. I had to sit down, you know, and it's easy to get injured, so don't fall on your prep.
I'm like, okay, trippy long stockings, like chill on like, I could even tell you, I walked into a pole this year. I'm like, I turned 40 and I turned into like a klutz all over again. My dad would always call me Grace because like I have so many scars on my legs from just tripping and falling. I'm like, am I reverting back to being a kid? Just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what the heck? But yeah, I walked into a pole. Like, how do you do that? Paul saw the whole thing. My neck whips back. I'm like,
Oh my
this is,
goodness.
so I'm like, give me all the BPC.
I am very, very, I emphasize on very clumsy. Clumsy. Like I will like just walk, you know, the bar, the lap pull down bar on the cables. I will
can't.
walk through it and bang my head on it all the time, or just
Right?
getting up. I dropped a 50-pound dumbbell on my toes, like things like the snap my fingers between 45-pound plates. I don't know how that happens, but yeah, I'm very clumsy. It sucks.
I feel like we're two peas in a pod because the other day I'm at Trader Joe's and I'm on the phone and I'm like trying to figure out what we're doing for dinner. And I'm holding the basket and somehow the basket, like the two handles slip and it catches my finger. So my finger's stuck.
Oh.
I scream inside Trader Joe's. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot with you today, Brie. Like, can you knock it off? Like, what are you doing? So I'm like, just let's hope there's no injuries this season. I know when we tried to record that one day where we lost all the audio, super sad. We were talking about embarrassing moments.
Oh yeah.
Um, I feel like I have them all the time, but I had thought of one because you asked me that day, like, what is like an embarrassing moment? So I have one.
Okay.
It's so dumb. So I'm at the gym, and this is like years back, and I'm like, I think I was on the bench, like an incline bench,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm probably just working rear delts or something like that. And I'm like, why are all these dudes staring at my ass? So here I am getting like irritated. I'm like, these guys are staring at my butt, you know? So I get home and I'm like telling my sister, I'm like, these wouldn't stop staring. Well, then I look in the freaking mirror and there is a huge hole in my
I mean,
workout pants.
I mean, At the gym,
Why
I look
didn't
at my
someone?
ass all the time in the mirror. You don't do that?
I
I mean, I
no,
would have noticed it because I always look at it.
no, I didn't, and I'm like, how did I not? But I get home and I look in the mirror. I think I'm changing or getting ready for work or something. There was a hole. I'm like, how come no one said anything? So embarrassing. Here I
Oh
am,
my
like,
God.
so embarrassing.
I had the hole in my bombshell leggings about 2 weeks ago when I was at work. And it was just like, the booty scrunch.
Yeah,
It sucks because, I can sew pretty
yeah.
well when I have holes in my pants. But if there's a scrunch, I can't do it.
I don't.
I don't know how to do it. Anyways, I tried. But anyways, I was at work and I had this hole in the middle of my
Oh
ass.
my
I
gosh.
put something around, but at the gym, I can't imagine. Ugh,
Oh, and I mean, like, it was not small.
God.
It wasn't small. And the reason why I got a hole is because I had done a mud run. These were Lululemons. They were my favorite at the time. They were like a really pretty burgundy. I had done a mud run with one of my friends, and we were going down like this slide, like a mud slide. And I'm like, huh, I didn't get a hole in my pants. Well, my butt was covered in mud.
Yeah.
And so I washed them, put them on, because like sometimes I'm just in a hurry and I'm like, putting on my clothes. Sometimes they're backwards. That day they weren't backwards, or I would have seen it, but straight hole. Hey, I have this for you. I told you I was going to bring it. So I didn't know that these were viral, but that is one of the Prime Bites Brownies. That
Is that mine?
I
Oh,
brought
thank
that for
you. Actually, I'm going to eat it right now, and I'll tell you guys what I think.
Tell me, because I got a variety pack from a friend of mine. Shout out to Michelle. She brought me this whole variety pack. There's 19 grams of protein. So what flavor is that one?
This is glazed cinnamon roll.
Oh my gosh. So
How many grams of protein are in it?
I think 19.
Oh, there's collagen.
I know. Doesn't taste like it.
19 grams of protein. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
considering how small it is.
I swear these
You
are
know-
like, they're bomb.
Speaking of protein bars and whatever, just like look when I look for a good one, I always make sure that there's more protein than there is carbs, because there's the way they label protein bars. They'll put protein on the package. But then you flip it off, look at the macros, and it doesn't make sense. There's more carbs than protein. It's not a protein bar.
No, you're so right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this 19 grams is pretty good.
Like, you go to this grocery store and it's like, oh, it says protein bar, but there's only 11 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And then 42 grams of
Yeah,
carbs.
11 is like a magic number. It's like, it's usually 11 grams of protein.
Right?
That is not enough. Yeah. Ooh,
They're dense, but they are so good. They're so sweet.
my God.
And they taste naughty, huh? They taste like there's a good amount of fat in them.
Yeah, it's very dewy.
It's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
So thank you, Michelle. So I guess her brother bought them and he did not like them.
Oh, really?
He bakes. He's like a little baker. But like I gave them to like the family at home and they all liked them. I'm like, they are super yummy.
Oh, thank you so much. This is great.
You're welcome. Yeah, I had there was brownie, double fudge brownie or something like that. Birthday cake I tried yesterday. And I think there was like a chocolate chip cookie. Those are good, huh? Apparently they're viral. They went viral on TikTok. I had no idea. Like I'm so under the radar on all of these things.
That's amazing. When you have like a sweet craving, you have this at home instead of going for the, I don't know, 350, 400 calories freaking donut or muffin.
Right?
Grab one of these.
I mean, and they're good for their family. I mean, I'm not like huge on eating protein bars all the time just because like I think you and I both, we like to get our protein intake from natural sources and like whole foods. But once in a while,
Yeah,
I'm like, this is so good. I plugged it in. I'm like, ooh,
me too.
how many fats? I think there was like, what is it? 5 grams of fats in those. Not bad.
And where do you get them?
She got them on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So other than that, I have no idea. But Prime Bites, right? Is that what that is?
Here I am eating on the podcast.
It's okay. They're good though. So, anyways, I'm really excited about your new job. I feel like there's a lot of shift going on for both of us.
Yeah, but it's
And
happening so fast. Like I thought I would have more time, but more time. I told that to my boyfriend. He's like, more time for what? You know what I mean? Just do it. I'm
yeah,
just constantly overthinking, you know, and stressing. And am I going to be? Even though I'm confident, I do sometimes struggle with like self doubt. You know what I mean? Like, what if I'm not good? You know, what if people don't like me? You know,
of
things
course
like
they
that.
are. I mean, you're going to fall right into place there.
And so, being a personal trainer at Lifetime, I'm going to have to talk to as many people as I can talk to every single day. And so, I have a goal to shake the hand of 20 people every day.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal.
Yeah,
Like,
and I want to like ask their names, have a little chat with them, a mini chat, and then, you know, remember their names later on. And it's funny because I was someone super introverted and shy. There's no way I would ever make friends in public,
yeah.
ever. Not even make eye contact with anyone. Here I am, this person. Here I am, like going out to people and talk to them out of my way. Like, it's crazy what confidence does to you.
What do you think changed?
My confidence,
But like how?
training, and looking the way I do, put value in myself because I'm doing something hard that most people can't do. So in that way, people tend to admire me for that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And being the person that I am, and I love helping people and tell them my story, then it's easy to interact with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I will piggyback off that. Like, I was always super shy. I mean, I still don't like a lot of attention on me. Like, this podcast is kind of like out of my comfort zone,
Yeah,
you
she's
know?
different than me in that sense. I don't
Yeah.
care about. I don't. It's not that I seek attention, but I don't mind it. I
Yeah.
don't get uncomfortable.
I'm like, birthdays, I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna sing happy birthday to me. Like,
Oh,
I'm like, huh. But I'm also like, I would go to Chevy's and put on like the birthday hat. Like, I don't mind being goofy. I don't like mind like being myself, but the attention, I'm like, oh man, that's a lot. But
it's it's funny considering that you're a competitor.
I know. And that's like, I mean, obviously, I was so nervous on stage. Um, but at the same time, I'm very competitive. And I think I've always been competitive, but I'm a confident person. You know, I would talk to people every day. Like, I'm confident, and that didn't come, you know, instantly. It's been, I think, raising a daughter, teaching her confidence, you know, getting comfortable in my own skin. And also like knowing that we're not perfect. So I think that really helped me is like no one's perfect. Like we're all going to fumble our words and you know, like I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. So it's like learning. I think my confidence came from learning that I'm human. And I just had this whole like conversation with Lyric, um, my nephew, because he had gotten in trouble recently. He was so hyper focused on they have green cards, so like he has to like get greens or did have to get greens, and it's like a gauge of his behavior. So he was focusing on being perfect and stressing to where like if he got a yellow, he'd just lose his mind and spiral. So then I like had to tell him like, dude, no one gets greens. Auntie doesn't get greens all day. Your dad doesn't get greens. No one gets greens. We're all going to get yellows. I'm like, I bet you your dad gets yellows in the car all the time. Does he cuss at people in the car? He's like, it's okay to get yellows. So
Yeah,
knowing that we're not perfect. So, you know,
it
I'm,
it gets. I think it gets better. My daughter has gone through episodes, phases where she was. Eesh, I don't know what I was gonna do with her because she was. I don't know. She had anger in her. You know what I mean? And she
yeah,
would just lash out at kids if she felt rejected. She would lash out or something like that, which I totally understand because I was the same as a kid. No kid likes to be ignored. You know what I mean? But this year she has a new teacher and she gets points for good behavior, and I have the notification on my phone, and I
Okay.
see it, and she constantly regularly has them. She never has points taken away like she used to. Now it's like she's always rewarded for good behavior. So for her it was just a phase, which she turns 9 today.
Today's her birthday.
It's her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh
Happy
my
birthday, Leah.
gosh.
You know what? I told her, she said, Mom, are you going to take me to school tomorrow? And it was last night. I said, no, I'm doing a podcast with my friend Brie. She said, what's a podcast? And then I showed her. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm famous." She sometimes she
cute.
knows I post it on social
Yeah.
media. And she's okay with it. And she says, "Mom, am I famous?" I'm like, "Well, people know who you are." Oh my God. Yeah.
That is so cute. You're gonna have to show her this. That we wished her happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I'll show
Oh
her
my
that
gosh,
one.
so cute. Yeah, 9. That's how old little dude is, and oh, it's just been a really rough year. It's been a rough year. I told him, I'm like, you are giving me some gray hairs. He's like, why? I'm like, boy, what do you mean why? Like,
They have no idea.
you are stressing me out. Like, get it together. you know?
Speaking of stress, I would like to just say this: stress, we underestimate it when it comes to progress. Stress can be lack of sleep. It can be how you handle with your emotions internally. It could be overthinking, anything like that, right? And it can really play a role in your results. Like you could be doing everything right, but you're not progressing, and it's because you are in a state of constant stress. And I've experienced this before.
Yeah.
When I am more at peace with myself, happier, less worried, my body tends to progress better. Like it holds less water. Not necessarily that I'm gaining more fat, but it holds less water, definitely.
I mean, you're not wrong. So you're not the type to weigh yourself all the time. I have been, well, this past week I haven't been weighing myself, but when I'm going through stressful situations, I do, just because I want to see and gauge like how my cortisol is responding. Like when over the holidays, I think I told you he was acting up, and for those that don't know, Lyric had gotten suspended, and it was super stressful right before Christmas, and I had gained, no joke, 4 pounds in just a day because of that stress.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a crazy way. Like your body is so amazing that it responds to emotions, right? And we notice that as like competitors, and like you'll see it in your face. Last week when we recorded, I was just so fatigued, and I don't know if you could tell like when we were recording,
Yeah, a
but
little bit.
it was just so heavy because he had gotten in trouble a week before. Not a week, but it was like a few days before we recorded. But that heaviness, it sat with me, and it's just it. Your kids affect you so much.
Yeah.
You know, your family affects you, and it's like you carry that on, like how stress affects my sleep, not
Right.
just me personally, but anybody. But I was just so it. I had to pull myself out of bed. Now we're having a great week at home. He's like acting. He's on his best behavior, and my sleep's great. I'm waking up. Like I was up at 5 a.m. and I was like, normally I'd want to go back to sleep, and I'm like, actually no, I'm wide awake right now. I'm like, I'm gonna get up, make my bed, and
That's amazing. By the way, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was telling me about ashwagandha.
oh yeah,
Do you take this?
I don't now. But when I had a lot of stress going on in my like life, yes,
Did you see a difference with it?
100%. Yeah. I mean, my heart didn't see a difference because it's not going to like help your heart, you know, as far
Right.
as like, I was obviously super sad, but my labs showed a difference. My
Oh.
cortisol was not through the roof. And even like the doctor, she's like, considering everything you're going through, I don't know how your cortisol's not spiked.
Oh wow.
So it really does help with your cortisol. It's amazing. There's also 5-HTP,
Oh, I've tried that before.
and that helps. I actually just told a client to get on that with her magnesium at night. It helps, and I've been out, so maybe that's why I couldn't. I've been out for the past 2 weeks, and I haven't gotten it. So
Oh.
here I am. I better practice what I preach.
Yeah.
But
I'm not good at taking supplements. Oh gosh, I'm not, on the clock. I will forget a day. And
I'm pretty good.
do you have
And
any
then,
tips?
I mean, yeah, I think there's. I was actually going to save this for the next one. I don't know where we're at on time here with this one. Can you see?
28 minutes.
28 minutes. Okay, well, we'll segue. So I'll talk a little bit about supplements and then we can roll into the next.
Okay.
So, yes, I had actually been asked, like, what is the number one supplement to take? And I think the number one supplement anybody can take is creatine.
I think so too. There's a
Creatine.
bunch of studies coming out even more right now
Mhm.
about creatine. And I think that anyone, even if they don't work out, everyone should take creatine.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy what it does for your brain. It's not just about building muscle, it's your brain. I think there's even more benefits.
Yeah, it helps with cognitive cognitive
Mm-hmm.
function. It helps with so I give some to Lyric. Only I give him 2, which is like 2.5
Mm-hmm.
like milligrams, because I'm doing I have the chewables from
Right.
Animal Pack, so I just give him 2, and I call it here's your big brain tabs because
Uh-huh.
he wants to be big brain, but
Your focus, your
yeah.
memory.
So that's why I give it to him for his focus. I'm like, this actually studies have shown it helps your
Yeah.
focus. Um,
And it highly decreases your chances of dementia in the future.
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They did studies on people who were diagnosed with dementia, and all of them had very low numbers of creatine in their system. I don't know how all this. I didn't see the studies they did. That's what I heard, but it's definitely something worth looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I was like even watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was
Yeah,
talking about it, and he's like, I take creatine in the morning first thing, and he's like, and my mental focus is just like locked in, just from taking it in the morning. So that's why I started giving it to Lyric, just so it can help his mental focus, because he just wants to play. He's just all boy.
yeah,
He's like
on
bing, bing,
fire.
bing, 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 and I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you before school, and he loves it.
Oh wow.
So we'll segue into the next one
Okay.
and roll on in. But thank you for tuning in, and I'm excited for our next episode. Actually,
Send us your questions, any ideas, things you want to hear us talk about. And thank you for the support, liking,
thank you
commenting,
so
subscribing. I know I
much.
have friends and people at the gym listening to it, and I gladly appreciate your support.
Yeah, I do too, because there's one girl, she commented and then she messaged me. She said that this is her new Monday night turn up.
Oh my
She's
God,
like, she
thank
loves
you.
this. I know,
Put
so
on your
cool.
beauty mask, do your
Right?
nails, and put our podcast on. Totally.
Isn't that so cool? I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
My
Okay.
family in Canada is watching too, which is
That's
amazing.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Sean in Oregon, like I think you saw him. Did you see his
Yeah.
comment? He's like, Shaboomy.
Yeah.
He's like, go girls. I'm like, oh, he's so cool. Like,
And yeah, thank you. We
thank you
gladly
so
appreciate you
much.
guys.
Bye.
We'll go
Yeah.
on to the next one.